What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we're gonna be doing a Houston Rockets realistic rebuild, another team that's kind of in a weird spot as of right now, as they don't have a lot of assets. There's just a lot that this team's just kind of stuck, if you ask me, and that's why we're gonna be trying our best realistically as possible to rebuild the Houston Rockets. Leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into this rebuild. Think about the Rockets. Obviously James Harden comes to mind. After that you have Russell Westbrook, Robert Covington. Like, there's some talent on this roster. They obviously went with the small ball thing. It didn't really work out, so I fully expect the Rockets to trade for some kind of big man, but I think the Rockets would still want to try to get a big man that can space the floor. Like, the two that come to mind for me is you got Al Horford on the 76ers. I don't really know if that helps you that much, because Al Horford is getting up there in age, and it's just gonna be a terrible contract the further you go down. And then there's another player on the Pacers, Myles Turner. I kind of like the idea of potentially going for him, and I think the Rockets should definitely try to do that in real life if they can. They don't have a ton of assets, though. That's the problem. There's not a ton of assets here, and I don't think a lot of teams are going to want Russell Westbrook unless you're going to trade him to the Knicks, and the Knicks don't have a lot to offer to you. And then James Harden's only 29. He's not getting any, or he is 29, I should say. Not only, he is 29. He's not getting any younger. He's got like maybe 3 to 4 more years of his prime. You're trying to win a championship with James Harden, and it hasn't really worked out. So we're here to change some things up, and that starts with a new coach, because obviously Mike D'Antoni got fired. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sign Doc Rivers for the hell of it. I don't really know if that's gonna happen in real life. I think Doc Rivers is mostly tied to Philly, and I'm not sure who's gonna get the Rockets job. We don't know yet. So I mean, obviously I'm just going off a little bit of a hunch, but hey, Doc Rivers is the coach of the Rockets now. I'm cool with that. So we're gonna go ahead and fire that guy, and then we're gonna go with Stephen Doc as our assistant, and boom, we have our staff. Let's go to the NBA draft now. And also the draft order should be 1000% correct. I went ahead and manually traded for all the picks. That way the draft order is absolutely correct, and it wasn't correct in the last video. So on draft night, I think the Rockets should really try, if they can. They have no first round picks though, so I don't really know if Indiana would really want to do this, because they don't, like I said, the Rockets don't really have anything to offer to Indiana for a guy like Myles Turner. I mean, we could trade a later future first. I don't even know like what picks the Rockets can trade. I don't even feel like they could trade some of these picks, just because obviously they traded a lot for Russell Westbrook. I'm not sure which ones they can trade, but this is just 2K, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. And we're going to try to snag Myles Turner from the Pacers. Fix the Rockets problems? Probably not, but hey, you know what, I think it's something the Rockets should definitely consider, and that's a good player. He's gonna space the floor, and he can at least play some defense. 6'11", need a center bad. So Eric Gordon for Myles Turner. Obviously I don't think that's gonna get it done straight up. So I feel like the Pacers would probably want like one first, at least one first. So I'm willing to offer one first, and then we could probably throw something else in this trade. We don't really have any, like I said, the Rockets don't really have any assets, so I'm really not sure what they're gonna do in real life, but this is 2K, so I'm just trying my best here, and I guess I can offer them Daniel House and see if they would do this trade. And we got Myles Turner. So Myles Turner is our new big. We really needed a big man. As we know, PJ Tucker was playing that obviously that center spot for them, and it just didn't really work out. So Myles Turner is a new center for the Rockets. He's 23 years old and can space the floor. Love it, love it, love it. And then of course you still have Robert Covington here, which I think the Rockets definitely should hang on to him, because he's a good player, and obviously they traded a lot to get him. Clint Capella in a first. So yeah, this is what our team looks like thus far. Nothing fantastic. Obviously we need to kind of fix that power forward spot, which we will try to do here. And we're gonna go into the draft. We don't have a pick, obviously, but for rookie signing, we got nothing. Player options, Chris Clemens will accept. Qualifying offers, none. And then moratorium day. You know, a guy I really kind of want, like Markieff Morris is somebody, but Jeremy Grant is like a power forward if like the Rockets, if they can afford him, which I don't think they'll be able to, because I feel like he's gonna come in quite more money than the Rockets could afford. But Jeremy Grant's a guy I would love to get, but he might have accepted his player option, which that would suck. But is there any shot? Actually, I don't think there. Yeah, he accepted his player option. Yeah, so we're not gonna get Jeremy Grant, I should say. So I mean, Markieff Morris is the next best power forward we have on the market. So Markieff Morris will do, I guess, because we don't really have any other options. So Markieff Morris is gonna be our power forward, and that's about all we can get out of free agency. We don't have a lot of money. We don't have a lot of anything, man. So we're basically just gonna rely on Russell Westbrook, Harden. We got Myles Turner here now. PJ Tucker still here. Robert Covington, hopefully he can be good. And yeah, this is basically what we're relying on, man. This is our roster. This is what the Rockets are basically going to look like next year. I mean, they may not even be able to pull off some kind of trade just because they don't have a lot of assets. You know, everything should be on the table for the Rockets. Maybe even trading James Harden. I don't know if it's going to happen. Probably not. but at least should be on the table. But for this video, I'm not going to do that. So Russell Westbrook, Austin Rivers is fine. PJ Tucker is 34 years old. We're probably not going to get much for him. I guess I'll just move him to the power forward, or not Covington. I want to move PJ Tucker, I guess, to the power forward to be that backup 4. And yeah, we're basically gonna run with this rotation. We don't have a whole lot else to sign. Like there's like literally no other options. I'll sign Kyle Quinn, but that's about it. This is gonna be our team going into season number 2. Realistically as possible. I feel like I've tried to be as realistic as possible, and this is the best the Rockets can do without like blowing it up. So yeah, hopefully I'm wrong, and maybe they surprise us, and maybe they pull off some kind of insane trade and the Rockets win the championship next year. But that looks highly unlikely with the amount of assets they have. Westbrook, James Harden, obviously, Robert Covington at the 3, Markieff Morris at the 4, Myles Turner, PJ Tucker, Austin Rivers, Ben McLemore, and DeMar Carroll is actually here as well, which is fine, I guess. So yeah, the good thing is we still have spacing around Russell Westbrook. That's good, right? Because the Rockets definitely wanted to have shooters around Russell Westbrook, which is why they went with the small ball, because obviously Russ is not a good shooter. He just isn't. And then James Harden still here, Covington. One thing I think the Rockets need to try to do also is get rid of the get away from the ISO ball, have Harden moving off the ball a little bit more, have a little bit more ball movement, and maybe the Rockets can make something happen next year. But let's go ahead and see how the season goes in 2K with Myles Turner on the roster, and I guess the other addition we made with Markieff Morris. This season number 1, we go 42-40, and LeBron James is your most valuable player. LaMelo Ball, Rookie of the Year on the Timberwolves. Dinwiddie, 6th man. Giannis, defensive player, and Donovan Mitchell is most improved with 33 points per game. Very nice. We went 42-40, which is good enough for the AFC, which is not good. It's just not great at all. So when you look at the player stats, we had 36 from James Harden, 26 from Russell Westbrook, 11 from Markieff Morris, 11 from Myles Turner. Obviously, not the production we want to see, but we all know he probably knocked down some 3-pointers, which is nice for us. Robert Covington with 8, and yeah, unfortunately, he's just terrible on 2K. That's just how it's been. I don't know why. He shoots terribly. It just makes no sense. 35 and 27%. Yeah, it's bad. So, I mean, I would love to keep Robert Covington around on this team, but he is just so bad on 2K that it's almost impossible. If I'm going to win a championship, which I don't know if that's going to be even possible today's video, if we're being real, but hey, we're going to see if we can make something happen. So, Taylor Horton Tucker, LeBron, AD. Yeah, this Lakers team looks relatively the same. I don't think we'll be able to beat them, but let's see what, yeah, we get swept. So, after getting swept in the first round, you really got to think, like, if the Rockets go in next year, make some kind of trade for Myles Turner, and then you get swept of that next year, big changes are coming. Changes have to come, whether that's trading Russell Westbrook for almost nothing or trading James Harden. Like, we're going to have to make some changes. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep James Harden in today's video, and I think it's time to get rid of Russell Westbrook. Trades here, and the one that entices me the most, I'm not going to lie, which isn't really going to help James Harden right now, but it might be the direction the Rockets really need to head. And the Knicks want to offer me 2 first-round picks for a 30-year-old Russell Westbrook. I mean, Russell Westbrook just had a great year. Don't get me wrong. We all know he's not a good shooter, but for his standards, he had a good year. I don't know why the Knicks would do this. I don't know. It's the New York Knicks. So maybe they haven't got a star yet, and they're like, hey, we could finally get a star. A 30-year-old Russell Westbrook. Let's take him. I'm going to take this trade. I'm 1000% doing this. So by doing this trade, I'm pretty much signaling full-on rebuild mode for the Rockets. I mean, we just got a young Myles Turner, which is nice. He's only 23 years old, so hopefully he'll be here for the long term. Harden is 29 though, so that is definitely something we need to think about. Like, now that we just traded Russell Westbrook for literally a draft pick, a top 3 draft pick though, let's keep that in mind. It is start to look towards the future. So James Harden, I might be trading James Harden now just because of that trade popped up. James Harden might have to go. Pick, like I mentioned, and we are ready to make our decision. So Cade Cunningham, I'm not sure. Okay, he's a small forward / point guard. Okay, he averaged 23. I think Cade Cunningham is gonna be the player here we're gonna take. That's gonna be kind of the point guard / small forward. He's listed as a small forward in this draft class. I know he was always the point guard in the 2K20's draft class, which this is the best draft classes that I've found on 2K21 so far on PC anyway. And I'm just gonna take another young player here. So we've basically started the rebuild for the Rockets. We've pretty much started the rebuild. Something I didn't think I was gonna do today, but we're here and we literally have started the rebuild for the Rockets. So yeah, I guess I can't really move Cade Cunningham to point guard, so we're gonna have to leave him at the small forward spot, which is fine, I guess. But Harden, there's some offers. We got Jalen Green and Zach LaVine from the Chicago Bulls. Okay. Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, 22-year-old. Okay, a 22-year-old Jaylen Brown. Russell Westbrook from the Knicks. I'm obviously not doing that. So there were some good trades. So Jalen Green, Zach LaVine's nice, actually. I kind of like that. Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, James Harden's on a 2-year deal. Kemba is on a Jaylen Brown's on a 2-year deal. What do the Celtics look like right now? That I kind of want to do that trade to get Jaylen Brown. I feel like that would be definitely a good pickup. And we also get Kemba Walker out of it, which we could probably trade him once he accepts his player option. And the Celtics, did they lose Tatum, or is he's probably a free agent this year, right? And yeah, he is. So they could make a big trade by trading for James Harden. Like, would that put the Celtics over the top? I have no idea. So I'm basically, I'm definitely deciding between either the Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine trade, or Jalen Green, I should say, the Jalen Green, Zach LaVine trade, or the Jaylen Brown trade. So 22-year-old Jaylen Brown, I'm doing this trade. I'm gonna do this trade. We're gonna be trading James Harden to the Boston Celtics. We're gonna get Jaylen Brown and Kemba Walker in return. So James Harden and Russell Westbrook are both gone. Didn't think I was gonna do that today, but now they're gone, and Kemba Walker is gonna be here for the time being. And I still want to trade Robert Covington as well. We're basically, like I said, we are we are starting the rebuild. Like, this is embracing the tank is what I was trying to say. I just couldn't think of the right word for it. So now we're gonna be trading Robert Covington, who just had a terrible year, obviously, but in real life, I imagine he would have a decent year for the Rockets. So we could trade him to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Kevin Porter. Like, the Cavs would want to hang on to him though. The Hawks would take him for a first-round pick. I'll do that. Why not? We'll just go ahead and get Covington off our hands, and now we have a first-round pick. Markieff Morris, probably can buy him out or whatever we want to do there. But yep, this is what our new roster basically looks like. So Myles Turner is the new center. Cade Cunningham at that small forward spot. Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker. I really like it. I really like it. We are starting the rebuild process, and this had to be done, man. It really did. So when we look at our salary cap table, okay, I thought we were gonna have cap space, but obviously it does make sense we don't have any because we are bad. So Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, or not because we're bad. I lost my train of thought. Because we took on salary, Kemba will be gone next season. But this is going to be our roster. I'm probably not going to make much more signings other than that. This is going to be our roster going into season number 2. And let's see how it goes. Number 2, we're going to have Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Markieff Morris, Myles Turner, TJ, Austin Rivers, Ben Lockmore, and Paul Reed all off the bench. We also have Scotty Lewis out here not getting any minutes, so I'll go ahead and send him to the G League. We'll also probably send Chris Clemens there if we could do that. I'm going to just sign somebody real quick. There's actually some still good free agents we could, I guess, give a deal to. And actually, I just really want to sign somebody. That way I can send Clemens to the G League and we'll be chilling. So I'm going to sign him. And unless there was somebody else that would probably be better to send there, I'm not seeing it. So we'll send Chris Clemens to the G League and boom, this will be our roster, man. Let's go ahead and see how season number 2 goes. It also doesn't make any sense that I hire Doc Rivers now because I don't really think Doc Rivers likes to rebuild. So yeah, I guess that's kind of an L. But hey, let's see how season number 2 goes after we've traded Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Cam does win Rookie of the Year, but we went 37-45, which is not good enough to make playoffs. So we were terrible. But the Timberwolves go on to win the championship. LaMelo Ball is your Finals MVP. When you go look at the stats, we had 23 from Kemba, 22 from Jaylen Brown, 18 from Myles Turner. I love that. Markieff had 13, Cade Cunningham had 12. And yeah, we're just going to keep moving along. I'm probably going to do like one more season, man. Like at this point, when the Rockets are going to be starting their rebuild, they're probably not going to win a championship anytime soon, but at least we'll have a lottery pick. Do we even have our draft pick? No, it's going to the Knicks. So yeah, never mind. We don't even have our draft pick, and it actually, we keep it. It was maybe top 10 protected. Or wait, was that the Knicks pick that we got? What about our pick? Where's our pick? Oh, so we have 10 and 11. Okay, so that's nice. Doc Rivers, I'm just going to keep him, even though, like I said, he doesn't really like to rebuild, but hey, he's here. So we have, is there anyone I really want to trade? No, not really. I think I kind of like this. I want Kemba to accept his player option, then I'll probably trade him. But with the 10th and 11th pick, let's go ahead and see what we can come up with here. We could probably draft some decent bench players or just whatever. And honestly, I don't really know any of these guys. Patrick Baldwin, I'm just going to go ahead and take this guy. And I really hope Laser, like he did in 2K20, makes some good draft classes, because I'm not sure if I like these ones that I've been using. They're okay, but the Laser's draft classes were so easy to understand, and this one I'm kind of struggling, because I can't tell if some of these guys are just auto-generated or just like not even real. Like, I don't know. I'm having a hard time being able to tell. But Jalen Durant and Patrick Baldwin, welcome to the team. Kemba Walker actually declines his player option. Okay, so that's kind of an L. I probably should have traded him at the trade deadline, but I didn't. So it's all good though. Kemba Walker is a free agent, and we should have some. Oh, we do have some cap space. Okay, that's nice. So cap space, we will have Kemba Walker obviously being gone. So we could re-sign Kemba Walker, do a sign and trade with him. I'm gonna renounce Markieff Morris. So what do we want to do here? So McConnell's our point guard, Jaylen Brown, Scotty Lewis, Austin Rivers. Cade Cunningham is our small forward. We don't really have a power forward right now. So I guess what we really should be looking for is either a point guard or a 4. So power forwards, we got PJ Washington, who wants like 26 million. Aaron Gordon out here, Eric Paschall. I feel like I'm probably better off just doing a sign and trade with Kemba kind of thing. I feel like that's the best thing to do here. So I don't want to offer him a 5-year deal. I'll give him a 3-year deal, and we're gonna sign. I kind of want to get Chris Clemens back too if I can. Never mind, he's not interested. Okay, so we're gonna sign Kemba Walker to that deal, and now we're gonna do a sign and trade with Kemba Walker and trade him somewhere else, so we don't necessarily need him. The Bulls want to maybe give up Lauri Markkanen and then they get Kemba. I guess it just kind of depends where the Bulls are at. There's also Lonzo Ball, who I feel like it hasn't aged at all because he's 21 still. Maybe the ages aren't really moving on this save, because it doesn't make, I don't know why Lonzo would still be 21, right? Or am I just bugging out? Like, I don't know. But so it's either between, there's also Markelle Fultz, the Pelicans, 21 years old. De'Aaron Fox, also an option. The Kings wanted Kemba Walker, maybe. John Collins, Lonzo. So there's ooh, I kind of like this trade. You know what? Let's do this. We're gonna pull the trigger on this. We're gonna get John Collins and Monte Morris, 24 and 21 years old. The ages definitely aren't moving. They definitely aren't moving, I don't think. So I'll have to fix that, I guess, but that kind of sucks. Maybe it's just the roster, I guess, but it's all good. It's all good. So let's go ahead and roll with this team. I think we're ready to roll. We're probably gonna sign one backup big. This is gonna be our last season. Obviously there's more I could have done, but since this is realistic, I'm gonna try to be as realistic as possible. And after trading James Harden and Russell Westbrook for the packages that I got, you're not gonna be a championship team in the foreseeable future. Number 3, we went 42 and 40, and we are back in the playoff race, which is nice, I guess. After going full on rebuild, that we're back in the playoffs is really cool to see. So you have Jaylen Brown, John Collins, Myles Turner, Alex Len, Cade Cunningham, Monte Morris. Here are the stats. I don't expect us to win a championship. The Timberwolves just came off a championship with LaMelo. Do they not? Okay, so they do have Cat and Clint Capella. So yeah, that Timberwolves team is probably going to destroy us low-key. They don't have D'Angelo Russell anymore, I notice. Let's see what happens. And yeah, they swept us. So unfortunately, they did sweep us. This rebuild was a little bit weird today. The Timberwolves go on also to win the Finals MVP. So I went into this rebuild really wanting to commit to Russell Westbrook and James Harden. It just didn't really work out that way. Once we got swept, I'm like, yeah, maybe after getting swept, the Rockets would really, take some dramatic action by trading those two. So that's kind of what I went with. Obviously, if this was a little too realistic, let me know if you don't enjoy that as much, and I could try to be a little bit unrealistic in these. I mean, it's kind of hard to find the perfect balance. I hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. What should the Rockets do this offseason and the next offseason if things don't go well the next season? That's a little, that's thinking too far ahead, but regardless, this is Crushables. I'm saying peace.